Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Joe McCall. I'm with Gavin Timms, and we are in Wholesaling 101. We're going to be teaching you here the fastest, easiest way to wholesale a deal from beginning to end. And Gavin, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm awesome, Joe. How are you?
Excellent. See, I got some cool things to announce to you guys. I have added two new things in this mind map. I've added the video replays of all of our previous videos. You're going to see them here. And I've also added the transcripts. We are transcribing each and every one of these videos. I've added the transcripts here into the mind map. So if you want to get previous videos that we've done, we've so far done about 5 videos. I'm 1 or 2 behind here, but we're talking about how to do a deal from beginning to end, wholesaling, and we're giving away all of this stuff for free, but you got to get the mind map. And to get the mind map, all you need to do is text the word flip to 313131 or go to flipmindmap.com. Again, text the word flip to 313131 or go to flipmindmap.com and you'll get everything that we're doing here. So I'm excited about this one because we're still talking about marketing. All right, and we are talking about different marketing campaigns. Last time we talked about making offers on the MLS, the TTP method. All right, so we're going to be talking about bandit signs and driving for dollars. And bandit signs work really, really well. But there's a lot of things that you have to know about bandit signs to make sure you're doing them the right way and not the wrong way. So I like simple handwritten bandit signs. They work the best. Here's a good example of one. I buy houses, fast, easy, cash, any condition. You can always go to Google, okay, and just do a search for bandit signs and go to images, and you'll see lots and lots of bandit signs to choose from. One of the things that I talk about later in the mind map is how not to say false things in your bandit signs. And this guy says, "I'll buy your house in 7 seconds." Yeah, maybe not. But you can find a lot of good example signs here. Again, I like handwritten signs. You don't want professional, nice, fancy-looking signs. You want something that doesn't look spammy, that is going to grab someone's attention. All right. Where do you buy bandit signs? I'm going to give you 3 different websites here. I actually know the guy who owns banditsigns.com. It's a good place to go. There's super cheap signs and dirt cheap signs. And if you just Google bandit signs, you'll find a lot of different places that sell them. Some good examples of the text that would be on a good sign would be something like, "We buy houses regardless of equity." And this is if you're doing lease options or subject to is a more creative financing. This sign works really, really well. Something as simple like, "Sell me your house today. Need to sell, I'm buying." So your signs need to be real simple. Don't complicate them. I just like having a small couple words for text and then a phone number. I don't even like putting websites. Now, try to do them, if you can, 20 every weekend. Place your bandit signs in areas where people have to stop and look at them. Traffic lights, stop signs, freeway exits, gas stations. Place your signs in areas where you don't have to compete for views, okay? So you don't want to put your sign in the middle of a block where people don't have to stop. You don't want to do that. Or you don't want to put your signs in an area where there's 5, 10 other bandit signs from other investors there as well. Now here are some top mistakes that investors sometimes make with bandit signs. Obviously, number 1, breaking the law. We're not telling you to put bandit signs where you're going to break the law, where it's illegal. Although I will say sometimes I've heard of investors that will take that risk anyway because the fine that they get is worth it to them. So I'm not saying to do that because sometimes I get a little nervous about bandit signs because it gives investors a bad rep. So there's certain areas where you can do bandit signs, and so always check to make sure it's okay with your local laws. The wrong size is another big mistake. Don't do the little small signs that people can't see. You don't want the really huge ones either, but a good size. And when you go to these websites that I showed you, they have the good sizes available. Trying to say too much text in the sign's bad. Having the wrong message. The sign placement, obviously. Putting them in the wrong place. Not having a phone number. Believe it or not, people do that. Bad colors. So you got to stick with the good colors. Yellow and black, red and white, blue and white. Simple. And having false messages. Don't say things like, "Hey, I'll buy your house in 7 seconds." Or even 2 days. Okay? Now, that's bandit signs. Super simple. I wouldn't I'm not a huge fan of Bandit signs. I've never done a lot of them, but I do know several in my city investors that do a lot of Bandit signs and get a lot of deals from it. So Bandit signs do work. You want to say anything about that, Gavin?
Yeah, I was just going to say a couple of things. Yeah, with a text, the reason is as well, it's common sense that you don't want to put too much text because people are driving around trying to get. So you need a big number, and like Joe said, 3, 4, 5 words so people can see it, write it down easy. And the other thing is about if it works or not. We actually had a student last month that made 30,000 off a Bandit sign, and he put I think 25 out over a weekend. Got 3 or 4 calls and closed one of the deals. So they do work. Again, it's all about selecting the marketing and just doing it, getting them signs out if that's what you choose to do.
And you got to be consistent with it. That's something we forgot to mention. But if you're going to do Bandit signs, you've got to do them every weekend. All right? And, maybe the best thing to do is put them out on a Friday night, pick them up on a Sunday night. You don't want to leave them out there during the week because sometimes some cities have these rules where it's kind of okay if you do it on the weekend. All right?
Yeah. And I think you should just check, just check what the rules are in your area. I think that's the best way because if you're in the middle of nowhere, then they might be able to stay up longer and that might be okay. But otherwise, like Joe said, Friday to Sunday is probably the best.
Yep. All right. Driving for dollars, one of my favorites. Looking for vacant homes. And it's, you've seen them all before. These are homes that have tall grass. They look neglected. They have junk in the front yard. Maybe they're having a garage sale or an estate sale or a moving sale or something like that. So if you have the time, maybe you're, taking your dog for walks every morning. You just have long commutes. Maybe instead of taking the same route every time, take some different residential routes on the way to and from work. And look for vacant houses. Look for houses that need work and then contact the owners. Okay, just send them, look for their phone number online, send them a letter, send them a postcard. I'm going to show you some real cool things that you can do here with that. Now, just in the last 3 to 6 months, there have been about 3 different apps that have come onto the iPhone and the Androids that are really good for driving for dollars. And you can actually, if you get the mind map, you can go to these links of these apps that you can drive by a house and the app can tell where you are, and you can select which houses that are vacant as you're driving just by clicking on the house on your iPhone or your Android, and it'll automatically go out and find the address of the owner for you and put it into a database. And then when you get home, or even right there from the app, you can send the seller a letter. And some of these apps that I gave you here, you can take a picture of the house as you're not while you're driving, right? After you stop, put it in park, right? You can take a picture of the house, and then it uploads that picture of the house into the app. And so some of these apps are called Driving for Dollars, and one of them has this weird name. I don't even know what it is. But in the mind map, you can get these links, and there's a video on how to use them. Really cool apps that these aren't just old apps. These are apps that they're updating that work really well, okay, that you can use Driving for Dollars. SendFuse, we talked before about InvestorFuse. SendFuse is a new app from InvestorFuse. And if you go to their website here in the link in the mind map, this is really cool. I'll pause the video here. He walks through where while you're driving, you can voice on your phone something like send a message to SendFuse. Okay, and then it pops up, what do you want to say? And you just speak the address of the property in there. And you'll say 123 Main Street, Des Moines, Iowa, blah, blah, blah. And then what SendFuse will do, it'll take that address and automatically put it into your Podio database, and will then automatically send them a postcard and put them into a series of direct mail. So it's really cool, and it's called SendFuse, and you do it just from text. So you don't even have to stop. Maybe you should, actually, I don't know. But like, you can just send a text all with your voice. SendFuse, blah, blah, blah. And then you put in the address. Maybe he asks you to confirm. And then boom, it will send a letter to the owner of that house. It'll pull up the owner's address on record. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome. I mean, that's crazy. The technology now is just making it more and more easier for people to do things with less excuses. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Now, the final thing I want to tell you about driving for dollars is I created an execution plan, and I'll show this to you in a second, for sending one-off postcards and letters to motivated sellers. And if you can see this letter here, hopefully the camera's working. It takes a picture of the house and puts it on front of the envelope or the postcard, all right, with the person's, you put the address in there. And then it's the letter that looks like this. It just says, hey, sorry for being short, but I'm interested in buying your property, blah, blah, blah. If you're interested in selling, call me. If your property is listed with a realtor, please give them this letter. And this is simple little letter here, you can have your VAs send for you from the Philippines. Now, I'm not talking about the VA printing this and mailing it from the Philippines, but it's a really cool way that your VA can create these letters using a really cool tool. And this costs about 80 cents to send. First class, and it gets printed and sent the next day. So can you imagine a homeowner getting this letter with a picture of their house, with a text across it that says, can I buy your house? And then the return address on top, I put up their urgent notice to get their attention. Well, the cool thing is, what you can do is if you're driving by, you can just take a picture of these homes, put them into your Podio, or just text them to your VA or something like that, email them to your VA with the addresses, and your VA can actually go to something like Google Street View, like Google Street Maps, and just take a snapshot of that house, and then send them a letter or a postcard with the picture that you took, or a picture from Google Street Maps right there on the letter. Now, I said all that to say, if you click on the link in this mind map, you're going to get this execution plan. And this is a 2 or 3 page document. It's a 2.5 page document that I created of instructional videos on how to do this, that you can just give to your VA, your virtual assistant, and this document will train them on how to do it. I did this for a little promotion a while ago, and I walked through, how to go find the houses and either take a picture from Zillow or Craigslist or Google Street Maps, take the picture and put them into a Google Doc, and I give you the spreadsheet here that you could use to put the property in there. And then I talk about different websites that you need to use. And then I talked about the actual postcard. I go through example links, how to search for these properties, how to take the image. And what I did here, if you'll look at this, it's coming up. I walk through and teach you how to, with the picture, put the text on there, so then you can take that picture and put it in the letter. And then how to send it through click to mail, etc., and what to put on the postcard. So this document is really cool. I just called it an execution plan. You can use it for yourself, or you can send it to your VA. One of the things that we do is we have the VAs every day go into Zillow and look for the new houses for rent, and we'll send letters to the owners of those new houses for rent. And it's really awesome. But you can do the same thing for driving for dollars as well. Cool? So if you want a link to that execution plan, it's in the mind map. So text the word flip to 313131, or go to flipmindmap.com. All right, now, we talked about a lot about marketing. We talked about networking. We talked about Craigslist and Zillow. We talked about direct mail, making offers on the MLS, just talking to people, flapping your lips, doing simple bandit signs, driving for dollars. Now, here's your big thing. Here's your big assignment we want you to do right now. Just pick 3 and start marketing today. Just pick 3, okay? Start marketing today. Don't get overwhelmed by this stuff, because I know it's a lot. Maybe we gave you too many options, but really, in my courses, I give you about 5-10 more options on top of this, but just pick the 3 that you can do the quickest, the easiest. And get started on them. Get started marketing today. Do you want to add anything to that, Gavin?
No. Well, yeah, I do. I think, like you just said, you've just got to pick 3. You've got some options there. You've got some paid options and you've got some free options, okay? So I'm not saying to go for all the paid, but let's say we do direct mail, and then you've got to fulfill the other 2 with maybe cheaper options, like driving for dollars and cold calling, right? They're not going to cost anything, their time. So you use them, plus then you put all your money into direct mail, and then get as many leads and talk to as many people as possible.
Very good. So just pick 3 right now, okay? The next thing we're going to talk about is creating a marketing plan. This won't take long. We're going to give you a spreadsheet that you can use to create your marketing plan and to create a scorecard so you can track your numbers. This is really, really important. You have to know your numbers, okay? So until the next video, we will see you guys later. Take care.
See you later, guys. Thanks.